Radio, your number one radio station.
Stay tuned. You're listening to 2020 Vision Radio. Vision Radio.
2020 Vision Radio.
Your 24-hour companion.
Thank you for listening to 2020 Vision Radio.
From Queen City, Nevis.
Thank you for making 2020 Vision Radio your choice, your choice, your choice, your choice.
2020 Vision Radio.com. My radio station.
This is 2020 Vision Radio. Join Queen Esther and King Gusano, hosts of Your Voice, Your Story, every Sunday, 3 to 5 p.m. You can find us on Facebook, TuneIn Radio, and Radio Garden. Remember, Sundays, 3 to 5 p.m. on 2020 Vision Radio for Your Voice, Your Story.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Your Voice, Your Story. You are listening to Queen Esther, and I've got over here next to me King Gusano, and we are on 2020 Vision Radio in the beautiful island of Nevis in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. It is another beautiful Sunday afternoon. I hope it is the same way for you wherever you are, whether you're in the U.S. Virgin Islands, the United States, the UK, Canada, St. Kitts, Antigua, Montserrat, St. Martin. Have I left out any of the other Caribbean islands that could be listening to us this afternoon, King?
It seems like you got it covered.
Okay. All righty then. And we are here. You can join us on Facebook. You can find us on TuneIn Radio or Radio Garden. You can also find us at www.2020visionradio.com. All right. And we would love to hear from you. This afternoon's topic is, my king.
So our topic for this afternoon is bringing small children to your work or office appropriate.
Okay, awesome.
Keyword, appropriate.
Yeah. We want to hear from you regarding that. You can call us on our landline, which is 469-7953 or 669-7312. That is the WhatsApp line. And you can also call us at 917-460-2187. That is for our friends and family in the diaspora. So yes, today we are speaking about the appropriateness of bringing small children to the workplace or the office, which is also your workplace. So let's get into it here.
Talk to me.
First, let me ask you, how was your week?
It was a very busy week.
Yes?
Yeah. It was
Okay.
very busy, and in spite of the rain falling, you was still busy. That didn't change a thing.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it was a very busy week. I'm kind of tired still, but
All right. Well, you're going to keep your eyes open today.
yeah.
Also, I would like to say happy birthday to those who celebrated last week and who will be celebrating this week. What else is happening in the world? Well, it's tax time for those in the U.S. Yeah, it's coming up.
What kind of tax?
Well, I think
the
that
taxes the U.S. have.
I think the tax date has been extended. Okay.
Oh, really?
But usually it's April 1st or, stuff like that for filing your taxes. Yes. And for those who've lost loved ones, we send our condolences to you and your family and hope that you will feel the love of God around you and within you by those that surround you at this time. What else is going on? Some news.
Well, we just had our the agri fair there.
We had a mini agriculture fair.
I have a problem, Esther.
Why? What?
Explain this to me.
I'm not sure that I can do that.
We can't have sports, but we can have an agriculture.
But sports generate a lot more people.
Huh?
Yes.
And doesn't matter.
Yes, it does matter. It
You see
does
how
matter.
much people was at the fair?
No, I didn't. I'm sorry. I didn't make it there. I was on the film set. I was shooting
I
the
doubt a
last scene.
Charleston, you know, the only two big sports event we have is inter-primary
Yeah.
and maybe CSS school sports.
Okay.
That's it. Right? Other primary schools and what's that, they're not going to pull them out the crowd. You know, inter-primary is a big thing here.
Yes.
You understand?
It's like a holiday. It's a half a holiday.
But we got
and
Juve
it's-
in St. Kitts.
Yeah.
Right? We got Juve in Nevis. We got people on the beach
No,
parading up and down.
wait. What are you talking about? We don't have any Juve in either St. Kitts or Nevis at this time.
No. They are having Juve next week in Sandy Point in St. Kitts.
Oh, well, I didn't know about that.
Right? We are allowed to parade the beach in amount of numbers. Nobody's stopping us, but we can't have sports. That making sense? No, tell me.
I am sorry. I can't answer that. I told you I may not
I
be
don't
able
think
to
you
answer
should.
that.
I don't think you should.
Yeah. So can I just move on?
Yeah, you can.
I'm not even sure
I
where
had to let
was.
that out there.
I'm not even sure where I was
I had to clear the air.
in this conversation with you. Oh, my goodness.
Oh,
Lord.
Birdman is saying tax deadline extended from April 15th to May 15th.
Oh, okay, great, excellent. An extra month to get it together.
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful. The U.S. is treating its people kindly for a change. Excellent. So, COVID was bad in a way, but not so
We're
bad.
still
in some
feeling the
ways.
effects of COVID after a whole year
Well,
of drama and turmoil.
but now we're doing vaccinations.
Yeah, which you
Yeah.
think is a good idea to take a vaccination, Esther?
Well, okay. Do you need my personal opinion?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it is a good idea because you keep yourself, it just creates less problems for you. Let me just put it that way. It creates less problems for you. Trust me on that one. That is all I'm going to say about that. But I also wanted to say that the first film that was shot here in Nevis concluded on Friday, and they're going to begin shooting the new film the middle of April.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward. I'm not going to be in it, I don't think. But I'm looking forward to hearing more about it and who, is going to be a part of that locally. I mean, I know of one person who will be a part of it. That is, that was in this first film. The same actor, the same lead actor.
Lead actor.
He's going to be in the second film
Oh,
as well. So there are some people staying over. Some actors have some left today, some left yesterday, and they do have some leftovers. So they're moving right along.
Okay.
And I think
How's your experience on this set?
it was good
Stressful?
to learn. No, I don't allow things like that to stress me. If they tell me to move from here to here, I move from here to here.
Just do it.
Yes, exactly. That's all that you
You
need
don't
to
feel
do.
like a slave?
No. If I was doing something more slavish, I was doing something slavish, then I probably would. But I was cooking. I was a chef.
Oh, you were a chef?
I was a chef.
Oh.
I am not a big person in the kitchen. Yeah, I mean, people were saying that I was doing good. I'm like, really? Okay. But, it's, you do whatever you're told to do, and that's the bottom line. You don't try to overthink it. You don't try to overdo anything. You do what you're asked to do. Because
I don't
they
think
know.
it's that simple. I think sometimes well, you're laughing.
Why
I
do
mean,
you think it's not that simple?
I think sometimes you need to voice your opinion because, especially if you feel picked on.
No. It's not about being picked on. It's about the director wants you over here. Meanwhile, you're standing here. The director told you or say to you, move over here.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of moving to the exact spot that the director tell you to move to, you move just a foot in front of you. That doesn't put you where he wants you. You see
Because
what I'm saying?
at the long point and the short point of it, he is responsible for making the production a success.
Yeah, making it look good.
Look good.
Making it,
So if it
when
looks
the editor
poopy, it's
when the
his
editor
problem.
is editing, the editor knows, okay, this is a great shot. I can use this here. I can, because they take various angles, of course, of
Yeah, you have to take your various
angles
Angles,
and whatnot, and people have to just stay in place and don't make a fool of themselves. Just do what you're told. That's it. Yeah. So
But
that
it was a
my
good experience, though. You
Yeah,
met anybody special?
I met a few people.
Not any big names that we would ever hear of.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Most of the cast was out of the UK. Yeah.
So lot of
they
British
were like,
people.
and they were like
Lots of British.
two from the US.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Ready?
and a few from Nevis and St. Kitts. Yes.
All right.
So we are speaking about.
You want to hear what Birdman said first, or you
Yes,
want
please.
Okay.
No, you said something before, so I want to hear what he says.
to? Yeah. So Birdman is saying it is appropriate, or it is inappropriate to bring your children to work. We,
Okay.
however, have to show some compassion for those who are unable to afford childcare.
Right.
Another one. Our legislators must consider single moms or moms without the financial means to afford childcare. They should make accommodations for these individuals.
Okay.
That's a good point.
Very, because I'm going to follow that up by saying,
And I am on the opposite side. So when
okay,
you finish,
fine.
I'll adjust.
Listen, I'm going to say this. If you're a parent, it is inevitable that you will need to bring your child to work with you at some point in time. Yes? Maybe their daycare unexpectedly closed for the day, or their school schedule don't quite line up with your work schedule, right? So, my question has always been, do you have anyone else that you can call on? Do you only have one babysitter's telephone number in your phone? You must be able to call on someone.
I think
Hold on,
I
let
wanted
me
to
finish
adjust that. The same thing with the calling
okay,
on someone.
Go ahead.
Is it possible for one person to not have anybody to call on?
Is it possible that there is one person that have no one at all they can call on?
Yeah.
What happened to the father of the child?
He's not on the island.
Oh, okay.
Like, is it
so
possible
you
for
have-
somebody
no.
like not to have any
I
like
don't know
a friend?
I don't know that that's
have-
possible.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out though.
Everyone has a friend, a neighbor.
But are they able
family
to
member.
comfort? Let's say we in America and the person is the friend is a whole state away. Like where they are right now, do they have somebody? Is it possible for one person to have nobody that they can call on close to them?
I don't know.
I think yes.
You do? Okay.
Especially if you move somewhere for the first time
That's your belief.
and you just
Okay.
get a new job.
Got it.
So
but
let's
but here's the thing: you need to make arrangements. If you have a young child and you move to a new area and you because you of the job situation, you need to make reservations. Make preparations. Just like you're going to look for housing, you're going to look for this, you're going to look for that. You need to look for a babysitter.
Okay.
You'd look into services that provide babysitting services, companies that provide that service.
My thing is
So don't just roll up into a town or a new town and then you have to scramble. How are you going to get to work? That's the first thing that you should think about.
is I have absolutely no problem with bringing your children to work. The question is, where do you work? But continue what you're saying.
Yes.
I'll break it down.
Wait. Okay.
We'll break it
okay,
down.
wait.
We'll
Here's
break it
it.
down.
Here's what I'm going to say further.
Okay.
Okay. Since you spoke about, you think it's okay.
I think it's absolutely fine.
Right. Okay. Well, while some companies openly invite new parents to bring their newborns to work,
Okay.
many work environments are not quite so permissive. Right? Having said that, most employers should be fairly tolerant of those parents who are stuck in a difficult situation, such as what I said earlier, and have no choice but to bring their kids to work. But keep in mind, however, that it is really a straightforward proposition. Your child needs to be kept busy, fed, dry, and happy. Right? So here's the problem I have with that. And I'm going to finish the sentence and then tell you the problem I have with that. Your child needs to be kept busy, fed, dry, and happy, which may not be easy at the best of times, let alone in a foreign place surrounded by strangers. Here's the problem for me with that, especially if it's like young babies, maybe 6 months up, to maybe a year or two. Right. My issue with all of that it's taking away time from doing your work because this child needs your attention. They are going to act up more so in a strange environment and looking at all these strange faces. That kid is going to scream bloody murder because they don't know these people. Yes? And somebody in the office might be like, oh, she's so cute, especially if it's a little tiny one, or like a 1-year-old or something. Oh, he or she's so cute. Oh. They go on like that over the children. The children don't know them, and there's crying in the building.
And
That is-
germs are spread.
And that is distracting for people who are trying to get their work done, right? So that is one of my issues
Okay.
with that. Yes.
Ready for me to
Yes.
hit back?
Yes.
Okay. So my thing is, I have two things. It depends on the job. Well, three things. Age of the child. And I had another one, and I forget. Hold on. Oh, yeah, I got it. The place that you work, the age of the child, and where do you work in that place? Do you have your own office? Are you in an open area? Do you work in the bathroom? Right?
Nobody works in the bathroom.
Exactly. So those are my three factors. Right?
Okay.
So let's use scenario one. Where do you work? Construction. Can't bring a child on a construction code. I mean, on a construction.
Unless they're 18 or 19.
Not even 18 or 19.
Yes, they're teaching them the job.
Okay,
Yes.
18 or 19, right?
Yes.
You bring, but we're talking about little children.
I know what you
right?
mean. Yes, you're talking about children.
So that's a no-no.
That's a definite no-no.
Strip clubs, no.
Oh.
Exactly, right? Bars, no.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They have some places you would not bring a child,
Mm-hmm.
right? Libraries, no. Right? If you're working in a lawyer office, no. Doctor office, no. Germs, right? Dentist, no. Right? Places that you can bring a child.
But you seem to be for bringing the child, but you have listed like a lot of...
No, but I have a lot of places that you actually can bring them.
Okay.
A gym, you could bring them to a gym.
Okay.
If you're working at a gym. If you're working on a land, if you're a farmer, of course you could bring them out on the farm, right? If you're working, let's say, at a radio station, you can bring them at a radio station.
How many people listening to us would agree with that one?
Which one, a radio
Bring
station?
a child to a radio station. We're going to put them in the soundproof room, not where they're sitting doing
Yeah, they have
the
a
show.
soundproof. Yeah, they have a soundproof room. You put them in the other room.
I'm just asking because
every-
right away in
Because
my
look at this
head-
radio station. You have this room here and you have another room out there.
Yes, but still,
What's the one?
if this room is not soundproof, that child crying out there, you definitely will hear it.
Yeah, but a proper radio station is supposed to be soundproof.
Okay, let's
Right?
go on.
Good. So we assume in the radio station is soundproof. Let's say you work at a toll booth selling tickets.
Toll?
No, not a toll. A ticket booth selling
Okay.
tickets for boats. There's no problem there.
Oh,
right?
you mean the ticket booth?
Yeah, the ticket booth.
Yes.
Are you a manager of a firm? You have your own office. You're in your own space somewhere far away from people. Nothing wrong with bringing your child here, right?
But what if it's a baby? Let's think about the ticket booth for a minute.
If it's a baby,
Yeah. Think
If-
about the ticket
if,
booth. for
okay,
a
if it's a
second,
baby, it goes to the second point.
which
Your
is-
age,
Okay.
and what position do you have in the
Sorry.
job, which gives you access to different things.
Yeah.
If I'm the manager of a firm, I would obviously have my own office, preferably somewhere far away from people, right? And let's say my office would be more. Not I don't want to say secretive because some people have open door policy, but it would be in a place where it's more secluded and more kind of secretish, that I can do things and get away with it and nobody knows. Let's say, for instance,
not having a child there.
well, if the child is a noisy child, because some parents actually bring a crib, put it in their
Which
office.
I don't agree with because
Nothing is wrong with it.
Listen, I've seen that here where people move in playpen.
Nothing is wrong with it.
To
They got
a
their own little
building
corner
where
once
they
they ain't
work.
making noise.
But how do you know children?
Yes.
Do you know anything about children?
No.
Okay.
But I mean,
Children
I have seen it, and
are
I've seen children
noisy.
be on the.
Listen.
No, some, not all.
Children are
Some.
noisy in no.
You know
I'm
when
not-
children get noisy? Either when they're hungry, sleepy, or neglected.
There are children that just cry for no good reason.
That mean that child needs to be dealt with specially. send them somewhere.
Oh, really?
That's why you have to
I'm
know
just
your
saying.
child. You have
I'm
to know
just
your
saying.
child as a
Anyway,
parent.
you were listing places that children can go with parents.
Okay, yeah. Again, if
I don't think you want to keep that mouth like that.
I'm thinking of somewhere else.
But
There are a
okay,
lot of places though.
So, all right. So some of the places
If
you
they work
listed,
at a pharmacy, I mean, other places.
some of the places you listed, such as the farm.
That has to depend on the age.
Okay.
So let's say I have a 12-year-old. There's nothing wrong with being a 12-year-old on a farm.
No, but we are talking about under
Crops.
two-
If
from,
you're dealing with
from
crops.
2 and under. So let's
2 and under?
Yes.
Oh no, you
Let's
can't bring them
clear
a
that
farm.
up. Well, that is why I brought you back to that.
Okay, good.
that
So the
we
age
can-
is 2 and under.
the
That
age
this
is 2 and
argument is
under.
based on. Okay,
Yes.
good. Great.
Let's
So a
just
farm
deal
is
with
out
that.
of it.
Definitely out.
Definitely out of it. Right?
So that one stuck out at
So
me.
2 and under, you slim down my list to about 2 places,
Okay.
which have to depend on where do you work and what position do you hold
That's
if you have
correct.
access to your own office.
So most likely, parents will find themselves in a jam with children who are 2 and under, because if they, let's say, your babysitter is sick, or the person who usually come to your house to watch the baby is unable to come, or you have to take them to that person's home. What if you can't because the child is sick and not the babysitter? The child is sick. What would you suggest that the person do? Do they
The parent?
Yeah, if, mothers usually take care of them like that, right? So should the mother call in sick that day because her child is sick, or should she, because she has work to do at the office, let's say she works in an office, and she's got work that deadlines. She has deadlines and she must get to the office, but here her child is sick. She can't find anyone else to take care of the child, and the child cannot go to the babysitter, right? Because you don't want the other children to get sick from
COVID.
your child. So then that employee, the mother of this child, should they then call their boss and say, listen, boss, this is what's going on. You know, I thought, whatever, just bottom line, my child is sick and I have to take a sick day. If that boss say to the employee, well, you can't because you have a deadline. I need to get these papers done today so that they can go out tomorrow. What does she do then?
It's either 2 things. It's either you don't go to work.
But what,
Even though your
what
boss-
if you're threatened to be fired if you don't go to work to finish what they need to get done?
Well,
How do you handle that? How do you deal
and you
with that?
cannot get anybody to look after your child.
The child is sick,
Mm-hmm.
and she, the mother, is exposed to the child already, right? So what I'm
Well,
saying,
something has
what-
to give.
right? So I'm putting the scenarios up that she stays home and she asks for a sick day. What if she can't even do the work from home because it's paperwork that's in the office?
Well, something has to give. The boss puts pressure on her. She needs a job to take care of the child, so she would have to call somebody.
'Cause
She
in
would have
her-
to
in-
expose her sickness to other people.
Right. So
At the expense of the boss.
It's a really bad flu or cold the child has, right?
That's going to
The
be at the
baby.
expense of the boss.
And she doesn't want to send the child to the babysitter. Like I said before, she can't get anyone else because everybody is sent to work, and those scenarios happen where people get stuck. And for me, it would be the boss would have to find a way to send me the paperwork so I can stay home with my baby who is sick, or tell me he's going to fire me, he or she is going to fire me because I would stay home with my child. Yeah. Because
So-
that's
So you
my child. I can always get a job. That's how I think.
But you can't
But
get
not
another job.
everyone
You
can,
can't
not
get it.
everyone will
Can
make
get-
that
yeah,
decision.
Yeah.
Right? But I would never think of taking a child to my workplace.
Okay. Let's use my job for example. I work in a tower at the airport, right? Far away from everybody. So I bring in my baby, got him in my little
Yeah.
thing in front of me, and I talking to planes, doing my meta or whatever. Something is wrong with that.
What if that child start to cry when you're talking to somebody
Oh,
in the
Jesus.
cockpit? I'm serious. serious. These are things that can happen.
Yeah, what point?
And are you the only one in the tower?
No.
Okay.
2 people.
So then, yeah, you can't be carrying a child to work and do your work efficiently.
Suppose they don't have another choice.
Wait a minute. Your job is even more crucial because this is serious thing you're doing, telling this plane, guiding this plane into the to land, right? Okay, how in the world you're going to do that and you have a child who might distract
Let's
you?
say, for instance, my child is a well-behaved child. He doesn't cry.
Which child
They
do
have-
you know
don't-
that don't cry?
Yeah, I mean, let me not say don't cry,
No,
but they
seriously, I'd like to
barely
know
give
that.
trouble.
I'd like
They
to
have
know
children.
that.
They have
Children.
babies that are well-behaved. You know.
That is true.
For some
I'm not
reason,
saying-
everybody does see children goes wah wah
No,
wah wah.
but children, listen, the way children communicate, babies, is by crying. That is
So
how
they
they
can't talk.
communicate. Right. They're just trying to get to that place where they can speak. But right now, the only thing they can do to get your attention is to cry.
You see, let me scratching me.
What if you're in the middle of an important conversation? Like you own the company, you brought that up. You have your office far away from others. You can do whatever you want to do so you can bring your child into work. Okay. And let's say this is a female. And we already know how people feel. A lot of people, female and male, how they feel about female bosses. A lot of people say they don't like female bosses
Why?
because they feel women try to
Empower
what's the
everyone?
word? They overdo they have the power, so they overdo the discipline, they overdo the workload or whatever, or just the way they speak to the employees. It's another thing that people complain about, especially with women. But both sides have issues. Going back to what I was saying, so she's there in her office and she has to make a conference call. Nowadays, you're doing video conference calls. And in the middle of that, a baby starts crying. For me, especially if she owns the business, there's no excuse.
You mean there's no excuse?
You should have more than one person in your phone that you can call to watch your kid if there's nothing wrong with the child.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
you
What?
have to understand that we are humans.
What's that got to do with anything?
Yeah, it does have something to do
Let me
with it.
hear it.
Because you never know what somebody is going through, why they have to bring their child to work. You can't just broad brush it and be like unacceptable.
Is there anyone
The
on
person-
Facebook disputing what I'm saying?
No, everybody agree with you.
Okay.
Right? But what? No, it's all right. But what I'm saying is, you're something else. You got
What
my,
are you
you got my,
saying?
you got my neck today.
What are you
got
saying,
my
King?
neck.
What are you saying? Tell me what you're saying.
My thing is, I mean, every day is not the same. One.
Yes.
Right? And let's say you're on a conference call and people there bashing you about you having your child and what's not. It's my child. Right? At the end of the day, it's my child. If I can't find somebody to watch him, who's going to watch him? I have to watch him. So I have to multitask. Something has to give. You just apologize for the noise, right? And you said, due to circumstances, I had to have my child here. People must understand.
Okay.
Nobody can leave on the child.
Okay.
You understand? So you just suck it up. No, if you're telling me it's a regular thing, no, we have an
Well,
argument.
that is what I'm saying. I'm talking
If it's
about
a regular thing,
I'm
though.
speaking about people
Religiously
who do
regular.
that on a daily basis. Move in a playpen. Once you move in a playpen, you know the child coming every day.
Well, yeah, that's
That is what I'm saying. Yes.
But
I
does the
do
child
not
disturb
think
the
it's
work
appropriate,
environment?
But the
though?
child will. In some way,
can't say
shape, or
that.
form, yes. In some way, shape, or form, that child is going to interrupt the flow of the office and people's work schedule. Because those who are not stopping by to say, "Oh, how cute!" You have the baby crying at some point. Everybody's going to stop to look. Is he all right? Is she all right? No, I'm just telling you. Come on, people on Facebook. Tell me that this is not true. Tell me this is not true. Because everybody's attention is going to be taken up with this child.
Well, people here saying stay home with your child.
Yes, stay
But-
home.
And then every business, I would assume, not assume, but every business has a certain amount of sick days that you get half a year.
Yes, and but what if you're out of sick days because you have a young child? That can happen. Yeah, you can run out of sick days because of that. The child is sick on a continuous basis. You are sick or something, and you use up your
Birdman is
sick
saying you
days.
can find a company that has childcare services, but can you afford it is the question. Yes, there are people that are in work that work in the bathroom. In my office, there are bathroom cleaners who go from floor to floor in the bathroom. So, but you see people work in the bathroom.
That's true.
Yeah, janitors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but there are. Listen, I forgot about this, Birdman. You go to a fancy hotel.
Evan Jeffers.
Yes.
He's saying health and safety out the window. Government or employer should arrange nursery school.
Okay. Well, I'm going to
should-
bring up something to piggyback on that in a minute. But I was going to say, when you go to fancy hotels,
Yeah.
you find people in
The
the bathroom
bathroom, religiously
waiting
waiting.
on you.
Yeah.
Like they will.
They religiously sit down in the bathroom all day.
Yeah, but that's their job.
Yeah.
To be there to hand you the paper towel, to
Towel.
wipe your hands, or
Yeah.
even
Bathroom
give you the
attendant.
soap.
Bathroom
Yes, bathroom
attendant.
attendant. I forgot about them.
Yeah.
forgot
Yeah.
about
If
that.
your office is the bathroom.
Okay, so in reference to what you just read a few minutes ago, or a few seconds ago, there are companies who realize that they have mothers working in their offices. They have fathers working there, right? So what they've done is create a nursery
In the workplace.
in the building where they work. So the
Which makes
parents
perfect
bring
sense.
their children and they leave them at
Churches
the nursery.
actually do this.
There are people who are taking care of
Another
those-
churches in the States that does
Yeah.
that.
So
You drop
there
your
are people
kids
there
down
who
on
do
the
that.
bottom floor and
Yeah.
you go up for service, and when you
Yeah.
finish, you go back downstairs for your child.
Okay, yeah, that actually the church that I used to attend in New York, they
Mm-hmm.
have like when you come to church in the morning, you take your children downstairs. They have them teachers and so on to take care of them there.
But would you say in Nevis, any business that does that?
I don't know that there are businesses who do that, but some people take advantage of where they work for the government. Those who work for the government, it depends on where they work. Like you said earlier, and they've done it, where they take their young baby, the baby that they're suckling, they take the child to work with them until the child is, I suppose, weaned off the breast or whatever, off milk. And that
Then
sort of
again,
thing.
you could
So
get,
that
you
has
could get away
happened
with
here.
it. You could get away with it. To me, it all depends on where you work.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you another scenario.
And we have more jobs that you can't bring your child to that you can bring your child to.
more jobs that you can bring the child to,
No, that you can't.
or that you can't.
Like
Yeah.
bars and gas stations
Right.
and in supermarket
Nobody-
and cashiers
yeah.
and pedestrian crossing and
Right.
sports
You
zone in the
definitely
shoe
can't do
store,
that.
banks. I mean, you got so much jobs that you can't bring your child, especially in Nevis.
Right.
To bring your child to work, you literally have to be in a upper tier job where you have your
Yeah.
own office. You work from home.
Yeah.
That's the only way. If you're a taxi driver or something, maybe put them in a baby seat or put them in not
But
even
I'm gonna,
not even that.
okay, so I said it before and I'm saying it again. There are people, a lot of government workers who take their children to work. You can stop by an office, certain offices, and you'll see the person's child there, and they're doing homework with them. When
Oh, Lord.
it's still work hours, right? Okay.
But things are but most of the times when that happens is because business is slow. We're in Nevis, you know, that is rapid busy every day. Besides TDC and Hasfords.
and the banks.
And the banks and the supermarkets. Well,
Yeah, I don't know.
exactly.
But I'm still saying though,
And the tire shop.
it's disruptive to the office because even though it's not busy, there are people working there. I was going to give you a scenario. So this person hires somebody to work with them, right? They're being paid on a weekly basis, and the employee asks if they can bring their child, toddler, under 2, to work with them because of the same situation that I mentioned earlier.
Was sick.
There was a problem. They could not get a babysitter. The husband wasn't available to watch the child. So can they bring the
Or
child?
maybe the husband wasn't available at all. She doesn't have a husband.
No, she had a husband.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, so the thing is, she takes the child to work. Excuse me. And most of the day she spent taking care of the child. How did she manage to do any work that day when she spent most of the day taking care of her child? And is it fair for her to expect to be paid for that day because she
Of
was
course.
at the workplace but took most of the day taking care of her child?
No, of course you should get paid for it.
I disagree.
Why?
I disagree.
No, no, hold on, hold
You were
on.
going to say something.
No, okay. Before I gotta deal with you. Teresa Brown Paris said, I took my daughter, 3 months old,
Yeah.
with my first day of work. She was totally quiet for 8 hours.
Oh, wow.
It all depends on the work environment. I disagree with the host on this topic. Thank you very much. It all depends on your work environment.
Yes,
If you're working on
but look
some
at the
noisy
scenario.
construction, you
Okay.
gang, gang, gang,
Yeah,
gang
we can't
every
do
minute.
that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying though, look at the scenario I just gave you.
Give me the scenario again.
Again,
Yeah, I need to deduce it.
someone had a job and they asked if they could bring their child because of a situation.
What kind of job it is? Esther? No, but you can't give me some half scenario. You gotta come good, you know. You know I can ask what kind of job.
Okay, so they're working in a dress shop.
Okay, a job. Ooh. Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
Talk
they're
about it.
working in a dress shop, and they asked if they could bring the child because of the situation that they encountered. So the employer says, "Yeah, because you're expecting it to be one day, right?"
Yeah.
It turned into more than one day.
Like on a straight?
Yes,
Like
on a
religiously-
regular
reli-
basis,
regular basis.
daily. It
Okay.
became a daily thing for about a week, 2 weeks, something like that. And it was very disruptive. The child was not well behaved. Child cried. Because again, the child was a toddler. A child is around strangers, not accustomed to that, and just very fussy. So it was quite disruptive, and the woman got nothing done. Really, she didn't do enough work to warrant getting paid for those times that she brought the child.
No. Because if you tell me if I take 6 days during the year and I still get paid for them, if you just mark it down as a sick day,
Yeah, but that's
You can't
that's
even not getting paid?
No, but that's regulated already.
What's
That's
regu-
already regulated.
what's regulated?
Sick days.
yes, so you mark it
It's
down
built
as a
into-
sick day.
No, you
And
can
so
mark
when
it
she-
down as a sick day.
No, you no.
So I just said it's a week, either a week and a half or
So
2
when,
weeks.
that's what I'm saying. So when the sick days
So,
run out,
yeah.
then you start to say, do
But
you have a
most
meeting?
people only get 5 sick days per week
That's
per
what I'm
year.
saying. So when it runs out,
Yes.
then you have a meeting
Mm-hmm.
and say, listen, your days that you're here with your child, you have been non-productive. Moving forward, you cannot be you will not be compensated for the days that
You
you
won't
bring your
be
child.
compensated
that
for
you,
the days that
you bring your child to
before.
work and you're not productive,
Mm-hmm.
right? So then you have to go into an evaluation kind of mode now with the child
Okay.
and the mother, how much work she get done,
Yeah.
and that to me now put pressure on the mother or the father,
Yes.
right? But I believe
But the
in big
the bottom
corporations.
line is the woman with the child was fired. So then moving
Oh,
on.
so that was a real scenario.
Moving on.
Okay, moving on. So I have another comment here. Teresa again. As she is describing this, her employer should have stepped in. Obviously something is wrong. Exactly. I mean, you cannot be bringing a child to work 2 weeks every day on a straight. The child disruptive and the boss ain't tell you nothing. You have no meeting about compensation, seeking somebody to babysit the child. Every country and God knows planet have a daycare center. Every. The only thing you can say is it too full or is it too expensive? There's only two factors. there.
And I'm
Every country have
okay,
daycare.
and I'm glad you brought that up because my argument is this: if there is no reason why your child cannot be at the babysitter.
Yeah.
Or have someone watching this child.
I just don't want
while
them
you
home.
are at work.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you getting paid? You're getting paid. So pay someone to take care of your child and keep that child out of the workplace. I'm saying you're getting paid to do the work. You cannot
Yes.
bring your child to work on my time and still get paid.
No, but you have to understand it's
No,
my
there
child.
is not. No, it's not about.
To me,
the
it all
child
depends
is-
on where you work and
No,
the leniency
okay,
of the
and
boss.
and I understand
It
that you
comes
keep
with the
going
leniency
back
of the
to-
boss.
It depends on where you work.
The leniency of the boss too.
Okay, because I'm saying I would not pay anyone to bring their child to work.
But if let's say they get any work done.
Well, if they're getting the work done, that's hey, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I'm okay. And
As a
if
boss.
the child, if the child is disruptive, I would have a conversation.
So let's say the child is disruptive, but the mother is still getting the work done.
I don't see it. but I'm saying-
Disruptive to to other workers, not customers per se, but other workers. But the mother is still getting her work done.
And I was going to respond to that. If she's getting the work done, I'm fine with it. Except if the child is being disruptive to other employees, then I would have to have a conversation with that employee.
And what would you tell in the conversation? Talk
What
to me.
would I say? Well, I would call them in my office and say, listen, I realize that you're getting your work done, and I appreciate that. However, we have now come into a situation where your child is being disruptive to the other employees, and I would like you to work something out so that your child do not have to come to work with you every day.
Work something out as in you're willing to...
I don't care what they work out,
The
I'm not
business-
interested
oh, okay,
in what they
okay.
work out.
Okay.
I'm just saying to them, you need to work something out because your child is now disrupting my employees, and I need them to get their work done.
Which makes sense.
Yes.
Which makes sense.
Yes.
No, I have a
We
scenario.
need to take a break,
You
and
wanna
then
take
we'll
a break?
come back to your
Okay.
scenario.
No problem.
Thank you.
#1 radio station.
Stay tuned. You're listening to 2020 Vision Radio. Vision Radio.
2020 Vision Radio.
Your 24-hour companion.
Thank you for listening to 2020 Vision Radio.
From Queen City, Nevis.
Thank you for making 2020 Vision Radio your choice, your choice, your choice, your choice.
2020 TwentyTwentyVisionRadio.com. My radio station, radio station, radio station, radio station.
This is 2020 Vision Radio. Join Queen Esther and King Gusano, hosts of Your Voice, Your Story, every Sunday, 3 to 5 p.m. You can find us on Facebook, TuneIn Radio, and Radio Garden. Remember, Sundays, 3 to 5 p.m. on 2020 Vision Radio for Your Voice, Your Story.
Welcome back. We're talking about taking your young child to work. Is it appropriate? The
Yes.
numbers to call the numbers to call are locally 469. Well, it starts with 869 469 7953. Our WhatsApp number is 869-669-7312, and our diaspora number is 917-460-2187. So yes, Gusano, we're talking about taking small children to the workplace. All
I
right.
have two comments here.
Yes.
Let me just read them before we move on. Evans Jeffers is saying time for job care, right? So that's the first time I ever heard that.
Yes.
So I went and I researched it, and it said job sharing or work sharing is an employment arrangement where typically two people are retained on a part-time or reduced time basis to perform a job normally one person would produce. Obviously, the income will be split.
Okay.
Between two things. So I never heard of that ever in my life.
Maybe the person who wrote it can give us like a actual
Scenario.
Yeah.
My Henina Francis is saying, when you are working, please take your child to a daycare. It is not healthy to have your child at a workplace that have other persons around. She also said, children need a healthy environment to be around and special attention for that 8 working hours.
Okay.
I agree.
Yes.
Still
indeed.
disagree.
So you agree to disagree. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's look at what Chrome.com says about this. They say rules about bringing children to work rules about bringing children to work vary with the workplace environment and the attitudes of management. Right? You would agree with that?
Yes.
Yes. Forward-thinking companies should consider a children in the workplace policy. I think I
Children
mentioned
in the
that
workplace
before.
policy.
Yeah.
You mean not
So
to have
wait a
them at
minute.
work?
Wait a minute. Okay, let me read that again. Forward-thinking companies should consider a children in the workplace policy prior to the first time an employee asks, may I bring my son to work with me since I can't find a sitter? Base the policy on carefully considered factors and address those factors in the policy. Employees will appreciate understanding the why behind the rules. If your business is run in an office where the most dangerous item is a letter opener, you may consider your business child-friendly, but unsupervised children are prone to find dangers that you may not have considered. They could pull heavy items off of desks on top of them, stick paper clips into electric outlets, and turn off computers while workers are in the midst of updating vital documents. Do those things sound like they could happen to you?
Yeah. Of course.
Oh, yes. Yes. Most definitely that can happen, right? Okay. So think about productivity, and I stressed that a lot. And for the person who was asking about me employing women, yes, I have done that. And that is all I'm going to say about that. And I have been employed. Okay. Children. So let's talk about productivity. Children can be cute, and your coworkers may love to ooh and ah over them, right? Children may become overly excited and want to run around or ask questions. Both reactions are normal, but both reactions can also cut into productivity. Crying babies can be even more disruptive, and a dirty diaper can clear a conference room faster than a fire alarm. So,
True.
yes.
So Evan Jeffers saying she's watching from Manchester, UK, and
Yes.
this is a UK based idea,
Really?
right? Which benefits some people. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, that's what she's saying.
Yeah.
I have another from Elvira Foster David. No kid should be at any workplace except it a special occasion. Like bring your child to work.
Yes, they do have those days.
What is with these people bringing children to work? It all
So
depends
they-
on where you work.
Yeah, you sticking to the story.
Yes.
It depends on where you work. So you're saying
If you work
in
at
your
a
mind,
school.
it's okay. No. Wait a minute. Let me make this point, and then you can talk about the school. If you're working in an office, you do have an office space. That means you're up there, really up there on the ladder, because most times you're just in a cubicle, right, on an open floor. So if you have an office and you bring your child to work on a daily basis, I am telling you, I don't care how good a child is, at some point, that child will interrupt the workflow.
Yes, but even if you is it a big disturbance? Like somebody car alarm going off outside, that's a disturbance. But for how long? You understand? You're going like the child's gonna cry all day.
No, they don't.
No,
all day, but-
exactly. So the
but
child
the-
don't cry
but
at all.
I pointed out several things that the child would need.
To me, it all
Yes.
depends on if your child is a well-behaved child.
But what if it's a baby?
That's it.
But what
Doesn't matter.
what if it's a baby?
They have babies who barely cry.
Yeah, that is true.
Exactly.
But they do cry.
But doesn't matter. Does it have to be at work?
They cry anywhere.
Yeah, but what I'm
Children
saying
cry
is
anywhere.
it doesn't necessarily have to be at work. You know what you need to base this argument on?
What?
Your productivity at work.
Yes,
and
that's
isn't
the
it
one I just-
interrupting workflow?
Well,
That's
it's
it.
that. Okay, interrupting the workflow is about
So
productivity.
if it doesn't affect any, why is that a problem to be with your
But
child?
it most likely will. I'm thinking. I've had children. Have you?
No.
Okay.
You're happy to say that, eh?
I'm
Say it
saying,
again, say it again.
No, I am saying that it will disrupt the workflow. It will slow down productivity, because even if the child is not crying, you're not going to leave your child lying in a playpen or a crib all day and not check on them to see if they're okay.
So you work 24/7 on the computer. Tap, 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 tap. The time when you're on your phone, you go over there, you check on your child to see if it's okay. Your lunch make you feed the child. Whenever you're free, you must take a break. Jane work. Must take a break.
Yes.
You check to see if your child wants something to eat. If he's sleeping, he's sleeping. Better for you.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah. So.
You breastfeed him on your lunchtime. You're going to like you just walking.
Did you
24/7
see?
in your computer.
And I know someone will let me know for sure who it is. There was a woman who went to Parliament, and she took her baby with her and breastfed the baby right on the floor. I can't remember if it's the woman that runs New Zealand, that's the premier, or Prime Minister rather, Prime Minister of New Zealand, or someone else. But I know whoever it is, she was in Parliament.
She will for do that.
No. It seems like there was a situation or she was breastfeeding, so she couldn't leave the baby with anyone. And that is what I was trying to point out before. If you're breastfeeding, you're still breastfeeding the child, how do you manage doing that and be at work? Because
He said
like
you
she
take-
did, she
he
took
said
her
you
baby
take
to
a couple
work.
days off,
No,
and if you
I
cannot
think-
take days off,
What
I mean,
I'm thinking is this.
you buy a best pump. You know,
Yeah,
there's no excuse for that.
But let me finish what I'm saying. What I think should happen, when a woman is pregnant, the company that they work for should really think about how much time off they give them. Because when you have a young baby and you're breastfeeding that baby, man, you want to be able to keep doing that and wean that child off the breast before you go back to work. Now, I don't know how many months that takes, because I don't remember how long it took for my children to be weaned off of breast. But I'm just thinking of all the different women, of different situations that women find themselves in. And I am not. I am not saying that women. It's a horrible thing to take your baby to work. I'm just saying that you shouldn't, because of all of the various reasons I pointed out, and I feel like women should be given more time at home with their babies.
Okay, so Facebook is blowing up. So
Oh
let me
my
read
God.
these comments. Right?
I had heard.
Teresa Brown Parish is saying, wow. Now that moms are working from home, productivity is through the roof. The kids are at home. Please have her explain that.
Or if they have the mother working at home. Yeah, well, I'm not sure that if you have a bunch of children at home, that it's going to be that easy to get a lot of productivity done.
Elvira is saying the employee is paying you to do his or her work, not to babysit your baby.
I
child.
agree with that. That is where I am with it. And going back to the one
But
where
my thing
the
is,
mother is
just
working at
like if you
home.
park on a yellow line and you stop for 5 minutes, you'd want the traffic warden to have some you call it leniency with you. The boss man has to have some leniency. If it's
Listen.
not affecting your productivity, right?
And
If it
I
is not
still- I
affecting
still
the
think
work
that-
environment,
I still
it
think
shouldn't
that
be
is
a
not
problem.
possibility. I don't think that's a
of
possibility
course
at
it could be a
all.
possibility.
I don't think
Of
it will be,
course.
because listen. You said that all children don't cry.
No, what I'm
You
saying,
said that all babies do not cry.
a lot.
A
Meaning
lot of
like every
babies do
minute
not
crying,
cry, or cry a lot.
Yeah, babies cry. Every
No?
baby cries.
I thought I got it wrong. I thought
Look,
I heard
listen,
you
you
say.
cannot believe, you cannot be
I
sitting
heard you
here.
saying
No,
that
hold on.
some babies don't cry.
What I mean is,
Say
cry
what you
every
mean.
single minute like what you're alluding to. That's what
I
I'm
wasn't
saying.
alluding to any such thing. I said babies cry.
Yeah, every baby cry.
Yes, and that's what I said.
But what
But
I'm
you
saying,
said, what
does
if-
it necessarily mean they have to cry at work?
But where else would they cry if they're at
Home.
work? If they're at work with their mother,
Yeah.
what would be the difference? How would they know that they're not at home and they're not gonna cry?
No, what I'm saying,
children
once
don't-
you're well
don't
fed,
operate that
and you
way.
rub them, you burp
Yeah.
them, you send them to sleep, and what's not, they sleep. When they wake up, you go,
I'm
you
just
get
saying, yo.
they got
Okay,
they
can
got
I
little
get back to
ties they play with.
Yeah, but even that is a disruption.
Oh God, you in the office, who hearing you outside?
But what if you're not in an office?
Okay, well that's what I'm saying. Does it affect the work environment and does it
Yeah.
affect your productivity? Those are the
Because
only two factors this
Yeah.
argument should be based on.
That's what you were saying.
But okay, what other
I already
factors?
stated mine. I stated my case, and I'm saying that. And I also said,
Can I state mine now?
I thought you just did.
No, me not state none yet.
Go ahead.
Me not start yet.
Fine.
Okay. Let me go from the top. While it's certainly not a common program, the Parenting in the Workplace Institute, you see, they even got Parenting in the Workplace
Can you
Institute,
just
right?
read?
Has recorded more than 2,100 babies that have been brought to more than 200 American organizations. In that time, where more and more companies have dogs running around freely, and 83% of the millennial work report they would have leave their job for one or more family friend benefits. It might be time for more companies to consider additional ways to support new parents when they need it most. Agree or disagree? I agree or disagree.
Well, I don't know if I can answer it that broadly, like because
it's just asking is more
because-
organization. Should more organizations look out for more
I
newborn
did
babies?
speak to that earlier, where companies, forward-thinking companies, should provide the service, especially if you have a lot of women working for you, right? Because then here's what happens for me: if they do that, there's a nursery for these children. The parents schedule the time that they will go down or go wherever to the nursery to maybe breastfeed the baby if it's a tiny baby, maybe just to check in, you know what I mean? But it is not in the actual workspace.
Okay.
Yes.
Right? Facebook is blowing up again. Right? So I have 4 comments to read. Tarisha is saying no one wants to take their kids. A woman wants to take their kids. A woman is forced to take her child to work in excruciating circumstances.
Okay.
Ashman Labot, a yellow fine doesn't mean that you cannot park. A yellow line doesn't mean you cannot park there for 5 minutes. I know that. A yellow line means you cannot park there, turn off your engine, jump out your vehicle and go. Right? You have amount of time you can be at the yellow line. Helena Francis is saying, yes, in Canada, the government pays you to stay home with your child until they are 4 years old.
Oh.
We need to have that in the Caribbean.
Well, we can't afford that.
Actually, I'm saying, how is it funded? So it goes back to what you're
There
saying.
you
How is
go.
it funded?
Yeah. I mean,
Right?
we can't afford anything like that here.
Then you also have to watch your birth rate in
Yeah.
order to start up something like this. Because if your birth rate is not high, it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Because not a lot of babies have been born.
Right.
You understand? So then government would have to look at the birth rate. I would say the birth rate here is high because I made people getting children.
Recently, do you think so?
To me, every time I look downtown, I see somebody pregnant.
I don't be. I
Just
guess
by
I'm-
the eye test. Just by the eye test.
Oh, okay, but
Right.
I am not in town often enough to see that many.
Yeah, you
people
don't mean
pregnant.
town. Right?
Yeah.
So back to my case. Benefits for parents. You see, I got them organized.
Yes.
Right? Increase bonding. I'll just say.
Yeah.
Increase bonding. Right? Returning to work post baby is a challenging time. You've got new routines, additional expenses, and you're struggling with being separated from your infant. Allowing a new parent to bring their baby to work relieves childcare costs and provide more time for moms and dads to be with their child during crucial periods of development.
Yeah, but not at my workplace.
Hold
Do
on,
it at home.
Hold on. Quote, I decided to bring Nathan to work because I wasn't ready to leave him with a nanny, says Nathan's mom and full stacks engineer at the Muse, Joan Cleaver. It's a book, right? She is not alone. Many moms struggle with transitioning back into the workforce after having children. As Sherilyn Sandberg noted in Lean In, 43% of highly qualified women, right, with children are leaving careers or off ramping for a period of time. And only 40% of these women will return to full-time roles when re-entering the workforce. Right?
Okay. So 40% is
43.
Okay, no. What percentage goes back? 40%, I think you said. So the majority of the women go back. Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. But what I was saying is...
Wait, no, man, me finish my case.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
What's wrong with you? Right?
Sorry.
Save money. You have money you want to save, Esther? You want money? You want to save money, right? Everybody wants to save money.
Everyone should want to save money.
The cost of full-time infant childcare in the United States averages about $5,000 to $18,000, according to the National Association of Childcare Research. And
Is that a
referral
weekly thing or monthly thing or yearly thing? What?
Or they didn't say yearly or
Oh.
annually.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I would have to read on to. Oh. Simply put, simply put, being able to bring your baby to work for the first 6 months of their life saves parents money. Lots of it, this is annually. This is annually. The price I gave 5,000 to to 19,000 is annually, right? Lots of it. Jones says this is one of the reasons why she participated in the program, right? Benefits for companies. Boost morale. Want me to explain, Esther?
Go ahead.
Okay.
No, keep saying what you're saying.
Having a baby in
bring out
the
your
office
points.
isn't just good for mom and dad. It's morale booster, Shannon says. She receives lots of feedback from employees that say they love seeing a baby in the office. Elaborate, come on. I don't see if you're skinny enough already. Come, no, you got it?
you
got it? Oh, okay,
finish.
good.
Yes.
At the Muse is an organization. At the Muse, we even have a roster of alternate caregivers, volunteer who can step in and help with the care of the child if the parent is in the restroom or attending meeting. You know, understand? Child care is very serious. So it's your child.
Well, listen, I am not disagreeing with you. I'm not doubting it. I'm just saying.
Right.
My thing is not taking them to the workplace without proper care. when I say proper care, having someone else who is assisting those children while you are working, because you should get paid for the work you do, and you should work for the pay you want.
Okay.
So
Employee
I'm
retention.
saying, oh my lord.
Employee retention.
Okay.
Employees need more flexibility. In fact, 90% of moms who work from home cite the desire for families flexibility as top reason why. As a parent, as parents only spending on childcare rises, many families opt to leave the workforce and stay home with their children.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
If employers can find a way to help support those parents through baby at work policies, or you just say it, or on-site childcare centers, parents have less reason to drop out of workforce and companies to keep their child safe.
Right.
Because if a parent is to choose between work or child, they're going to choose the child.
Of course you're going to.
Exactly.
So this is my thing.
So something's
about
going to give.
Yes. If companies, and I have to like narrow it down to here, right? A lot of government.
See, Rwanda says she used to take your child to work.
Okay. A lot of government places and government workers.
All depends on where you work. Same
Right.
thing Rwanda said.
And I'm saying that I still disagree with it, because it's not a crèche, as they used to call it. It's not a daycare center. It is not. For me, it's not the environment that a child should be
Your
in.
thing is just you're just worried about the bottom line, which is the productivity. That's how I look here about it. You don't care about the child. You don't care about the child one squat.
I care about my employee.
No, you don't
Right?
care. About it. If you had care about the employee, you would have care about the child, and you would have had some leniency.
But I'm paying the employee enough to
doesn't
pay for a babysitter.
matter.
So wait. Now, if I have a company,
Oh Lord.
if I have a company and I have employed a bunch of women, and they're young, they're married, or whether or not they're married, I know at some point they
Nowadays, you're finding people are waiting until they get married to a
right. So
So most of them are single.
That's why I was saying at the age range where they are, I know at some point they'll have children, right?
Mhm.
So in that case, what I would most likely do is give them the time off to be with the baby at home, and pay them for being at home with the baby, so the baby can do the bonding in the privacy of their home that they need to do, rather than out in public doing that. I just don't. Anyways, so okay, so that's one thing that I would do. If it happens where I need the employees to be at work and they have no choice but to bring their child, organize something like a nursery there, because you want your employee to feel comfortable and know that their child is safe. A lot of things happen at daycare centers. The children come home with infections and flus and whatnot, because one parent can't afford to stay home with the child, and they bring a sick child to the daycare center. All hell breaks loose, because most of the children will get sick, and they take that home to parents. So these are things that I don't like it.
But
You need to figure out.
It's something personal where you don't like it.
No, I'm just saying that I think people need to figure things out, the employees and the employer. Because if the employer have it where they can help their employees with the children's situation, then they should put it into action. And if the parents can't take care of the children by themselves, an aunt, a grandmother, a good friend, an older person who is retired, you have to know someone that you can ask.
I don't think I would ever change my opinion.
Okay.
Because it all depends.
I know
And
that's
where you
your
work.
mantra for today.
Yeah,
it all
and
depends
and your
on where you
productivity,
work.
and it's not disturbing anybody. It shouldn't be any problem. If your boss don't got a problem with it, it shouldn't be any problem to
But-
bring a chair to work. It shouldn't.
But I'm saying that the boss does.
So you're saying the boss has a problem with it?
Yeah.
Okay, but if the boss has a
that
problem with it, then,
But
you know, you can't bring
Cassano,
it.
Cassano,
what I'm saying.
this is where you come together. You are an employee.
Yeah.
You have an employer.
And then the employer has
Hold
to
on.
have
Hold
some
on.
compassion.
Yes.
Especially
I'm
if they have
saying
children.
In the maternity plan, because all companies have maternity plans.
Really?
If they have female workers, yeah, they have to have maternity plans.
You mean my maternity plans?
You have a certain amount of time to be off from work
Okay.
to be with your baby.
Not when you're getting them. You mean
no, after the baby's
born? Oh, okay.
Some people split it though. They will wait. They can take off from before they have the baby to a certain time after they have the baby, as far as I know. Some people will work as long as they can before the baby's born
and then take
in
off
order
the-
to get all
more-
of it.
more
Yes.
days
So
after
when the
baby.
baby's born,
They
they
have more
have that
days.
time to spend with the baby at home and not have to think about, oh my God, I got to drag my baby to work
Yeah,
with me.
Maternity leave. That's
Right.
what they call it.
But I know it's maternity leave. I'm saying that that should be outside of that rather. If once a company has something like that in place, it should be enough time for you to bond with your child, breastfeed your child, and so forth, and organize daycare or babysitter, right? Because I don't know any daycares around here that would take babies, but they may
They
have.
do.
Yes, they may have. So you do that, and you organize all of that while you're at home with this baby because you have to go back to work. I think going back to work should be uppermost in your mind after when it's coming close to the time to go back to work. You should now be focusing on going back to work. You should have already put in place a very good daycare center or a babysitter, a really good babysitter you trust to take over from you. It's going to be difficult to leave your child with somebody, but this is what you need to do in order for you to do your job. Now,
So
a young
yeah.
mother, first-time mother, I should say, will be worried, and they will call to make sure that the baby's okay, or they may say to the babysitter, call me at a certain time. Or if they're able, on their lunch break, they can run to see their child, and come back to work. So all of those things I can see happening rather than you pick up playpen, bring it to your office, to wherever you work, and just bring your child on a
Yes,
daily basis.
I don't see nothing wrong with it. You know?
Yeah, okay.
If it's not disturbing anybody.
Yeah, that is your mantra.
I-
Okay. I'm just saying we're going to
Okay.
take a break in a couple of minutes.
So, okay. So I want to introduce this and then we could
Yes.
elaborate on it after the break. Should the Caribbean start in work daycare centers? For
It
babies?
depends on what job it is.
Like TDC. Hasfords.
Yeah. They have
Right.
quite a few people working for them.
Yeah, I
And
go-
a lot of women.
Four Seasons.
I don't
They
see
have it
Four
for the
Seasons.
guests.
Yes, they don't have it for locals.
They don't have it for the workers.
No, they wouldn't have it for the workers.
Why?
Because think about it for a minute.
That's the
man.
thing. I don't understand this.
In their book, they are paying you to do their job, not paying you to babysit your kid.
Hey, yeah. In the States, they're paying you to do the job.
I
too.
know that, but I'm
But-
telling you, listen, you bring up Four Seasons and you ask why, and I'm
Because it's an
responding to
international
that.
corporation.
It don't matter. It don't matter. They come here and they put down policies that they don't use in other countries
better
in
believe-
the
you
world.
better believe it.
Okay, just so you know
So what do you think?
about that. About that, or-
About bringing it to the Caribbean, you think doesn't make sense?
I was saying it depends on the company.
Yeah.
And you said TDC, Hosfords, those are two biggest.
To me, any big organization, the biggest companies we have here in Nevis is TDC, Hasfords.
But you have Hosfords, you have the hardware, and you have the supermarket.
yeah,
Supermarket.
that's what the corporation.
So,
and Four Seasons, that's the three biggest. Okay, so
government, man, government. The government hires a lot of people. Yeah, just like Four Seasons, they hire more than TDC or Hosfords. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So Vincia Busu, if I Oh, Vilina Busu
Okay.
is saying, but I thought the convo is about babies 2 and under.
Yes.
Either way, the baby won't stay a baby because I'm hearing bonding and breastfeeding.
Right.
At some time in a single parent work life, they might be forced to take their child to job depending on where they work.
Okay.
You hear what everybody's saying?
Yes, I heard.
To the bottom part?
Go ahead.
It depends on
And
where
they
you work.
And I said it's your mantra.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you think you just broad brushing it?
Okay.
Don't
All
bring your
right.
child to work?
Can I just address what the young lady
Yes.
said, the person said? Okay. So, yes, in a way, I am understanding what the argument is, and that we're talking about children 2 and under. So we are including everyone. When we talk about breastfeeding, we're talking about the babies. When we talk about children running around and pulling things down, we're talking about those 2-year-olds. So we are talking about these children in between, because breastfeeding is an important part of a child's early life, and I would encourage all women to breastfeed. So if you have a situation, not everyone can breastfeed, but if you can, and you are doing that, I really would prefer to see that happening at home, so they have enough time off from work at home to do that at home. And even if they have to, at some point, as the child matures and grow, you have to take the child into the job. You really need to work out something with someone that it doesn't become habitual or it becomes a daily occurrence, unless the company made provision for babysitting. I just do not agree with it, that it should be done. I can understand an emergency. I can understand that. But to do it on a daily basis without the provision of daycare, I don't agree.
And the person is still.
And on that
no,
note,
hold on,
we're
man. Hold
going
on.
to break.
Hold on, man. Before we go to the break.
Yes.
You're still sticking with that, even though the person is still doing the work and it ain't affecting nobody.
Hey, you don't know that. We're going to go on a break.
All right.
You don't know that.
And we'll take a break and we'll be right back.
Yes, we will.
Hey, 2020 Vision Radio, your number one radio station. Stay tuned. You're listening to 2020 Vision Radio. Vision Radio.
2020 Vision Radio.
Your 24-hour companion.
Thank you for listening to 2020 Vision Radio.
From Queen City, Nevis.
Thank you for making 2020 Vision Radio your choice, your choice, your choice, your choice.
2020visionradio.com. My radio station.
This is 2020 Vision Radio. Join Queen Esther and King Gusano, hosts of Your Voice, Your Story, every Sunday, 3 to 5 p.m. You can find us on Facebook, TuneIn Radio, and Radio Garden. Remember, Sundays, 3 to 5 p.m. on 2020 Vision Radio for Your Voice, Your Story. 2020 Vision Radio. Join Queen Esther and King Gusano, hosts of Your Voice, Your Story, every Sunday, 3 to 5 p.m. You can find us on Facebook, TuneIn Radio, and Radio Garden. Remember, Sundays, 3 to 5 p.m. on 2020 Vision Radio for Your Voice, Your Story.
Okay, welcome back. We're still talking about children in the workplace, babies, toddlers in the workplace. And here's something else from Cron.com. And they said, employees who bring kids to work may not have any idea of the proper etiquette involved. So you may want to request that employees call ahead and schedule child visits with the supervisor. You may want to clarify that babies should be fed and changed in a private area, and parents must bring activities to keep older children who will be in the building more than an hour busy. Clarify that company equipment is not available for children to use. Well,
Children taking company equipment and mashing it up.
yeah, that happens. 2-year-olds are at a curious age.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And they want to know everything. They want to know, what is that? If they're speaking properly, what is that? They want to look at it. They want to touch it. They want to examine it. They just want to know everything because they're curious. They're now understanding the world, trying to understand the world around them, and so they're curious. And how do you manage to keep your child entertained for 8 hours at a workplace that is a toddler?
Keep them entertained. Most of the time, the children them now that are being brought up, they're in the technological age. So everybody knows how to use a phone. I don't expect a 2-year-old to use a phone, but
2-year-olds are given iPads.
Yeah, to watch,
Yes.
and they would eventually understand.
But they can't do it for 2 hours. 8 hours. I'm
No,
sorry.
they can't do it for 8 hours. So, and then, no, you got me, because you would have to take them out and you have to sit down with them. And
Children get bored very easily.
very easily.
So,
But do babies sleep most of the day? Because I
yeah,
don't know.
okay. So babies don't sleep most of the day. They sleep, they wake up, they cry. They let you know that they're either wet, they poo, or they're hungry. Yes?
Yeah.
Maybe they're not feeling well, and they cry to let you know that something isn't right. Now let's talk about the 2-year-olds and like 1 and 2-year-olds. 1-year-olds are sometimes just crawling around, getting up, standing up. They're pulling everything down because they're trying to hold on to something to be able to propel to walking. Yes? Children 2 years old, they're now walking, they're curious, they are investigating everything, they want to know. Mommy, what is that? What is that, Mommy? What is that? And, they want to know. And so you are in the middle of typing a letter to your boss or a client or somebody. Next thing you know, you're typing, what is that, Mommy? Or you're typing the response that you gave. So I just see it to be an issue. Now, I want to go back to what one of our Facebook friends said.
Okay, go ahead and then I'll
Let
read the
me
rest
deal with
comments.
that.
Yeah, go
Because
ahead.
I wanted to go back to the mothers who work from home. Mothers who work from home, because it's in their own environment. It's easier because the children have their rooms, you know what I mean? If it's a baby, the baby has its room, or you can have the baby in an adjacent room to you, so if the baby cries, you can hear the child, right? And you can attend to the child. Because even if you're on a Zoom call or something, that can happen. So at home, it is much easier to work from home as a mother than at the office and dealing with your children there. Because again, they're at home in their own environment. And they won't be as disruptive to you because they can, if there's more than one child. Let's say there's a 2-year-old and there's a 6-year-old. Well, 6-year-old wouldn't be at home unless it's a holiday or weekend or something. But, there might be others in the household that this child can play with. The child is in its own environment. And I have seen children taken into strange environments that freak them out because everybody's crowding around them and want to see and touch and all of that. And I'm talking before COVID. I'm talking about before COVID now when I said I saw things like that. So children, too, should not be exposed to strangers like that.
What about this? If you cannot bring a child to work and you have more than one children, what are some of the factors you're looking that you could
more
leave?
Than one child.
More than one child. Sorry, more than one child. And you're looking. What factors should you look at in your older children that you can leave your baby with them?
You can't do that.
Or what age?
No, you can't do that.
Or what age?
Each child is different. All of your children.
Mind the child don't have to necessarily be 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm talking about like what factors should you look at in your
Well, what
children?
factors do you need me to look for? Like a child.
You leaving a baby with them?
No, but I wouldn't leave a baby with my children.
So you wouldn't leave a baby with an 18-year-old?
Well, 18-year-old, but if
a
I wait a
15-year-old.
minute, if I have an 18-year-old and a 15-year-old, there's no way I'm going to be having a baby at that time.
Oh Lord.
No, I'm just saying.
Okay, point.
I'm just saying. Yeah.
But people do these things.
But there are people who have done that, and I take my hat off to them. Good luck. But I wouldn't do that. I'm sorry. All right. You had something from Facebook, so
yes.
Because I have a follow-up piece to go with what I read.
So Glenville Label is saying, enlightened employers should make provision for nursing mothers to have a crèche facility for the establishment.
Yes.
Right? He's saying again, interesting topic that is very dear to my heart because need is needed.
Okay.
You understand? Terisha is saying this host is hardliner against working moms. Oh man.
No, I'm not.
Dr. Lambert again is saying for the first 3 years of their life is most important for parental bonding and transfer values and important life skills and lessons.
Yes.
So what do you say
when you get home, spend that time with them. You do the homework there with them.
Yes, I mean,
if you're
it depends on where you work.
Yeah. So here's another thing. If you are working in an environment where you work past 4 or past 5 o'clock,
overtime.
Yeah.
Time and a half.
What I'm saying though, the point I'm getting to is if you are working in an environment where you have to be at the office at those times, when your child is done with school, or babysitter, sorry, not school, what do you call it? The daycare center. You have to go pick up that child and out of the daycare center and out of the childcare center before they close.
It's called daycare, not all daycare.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting to.
Is it day?
So they have to go and retrieve those children and have to have them in the office at that point in time because what? Most of your coworkers are gone based on your position at the office or
that's
the
why I was asking
workload.
earlier. Is it possible for one person to not have anybody to call? Like you just don't know anybody?
I think in a case like that, you may not be able to get anyone at that point in time in that
even if you
time span.
Yeah, like so
to
fast.
Take care of,
on short notice.
Yeah. So I'm saying in cases like that, it's okay because most of the employees are gone from the office. So it might just be 2 of you in the office.
Let's say you're self-employed and it's your business.
Oh, I don't have
Can't you bring?
with that.
Oh, so you could bring a chair too because it's your business.
It's your business.
Oh, so
but
hold on.
No. Let me finish what I'm saying. It's your business, yes. However, you as the employer and mother would have make arrangements for this child.
No, hold on.
Yeah.
If it's my business.
Yeah, you can have a space designated for that because it's your business.
But the workers can't do it.
I don't agree. I don't
Esther,
agree.
you can't be serious.
I don't agree.
You can't tell me the employer could
No,
do it,
but-
but the workers can't do it.
Listen, I am saying that the employer would most likely have some kind of arrangement.
Let's say they don't have no arrangement. They bring their child,
Okay.
the child
Well, okay, so if
in the office in the prep and same way.
wait, hold on. If you are the employer, it would be wise for you to take this comment that I said before, that forward-thinking companies or what do you call them? Employers should think about putting in a space where you can go in and take care of your child if you have an emergency. What I am dwelling on is having the child there on a regular basis, and you are not looking for anyone to take care of your child. And my work
As the employer.
employee. I'm
No,
saying, yes.
I'm talking about the employer.
And I'm saying that
it's
they-
okay for the employer.
You totally missed what I said.
No, I'm not missing
I
anything.
answered your question. I'm saying that the employer can bring the child to work if that employer has taken into consideration other people that work for them, and they will need a space. The employer, would need a space designated for the child until she can work out something just like an employee, if that's the case. If it's a one-day thing, if it's a couple of days because you find yourself in a jam, I'm okay. But not for it to be on a continuous basis. That is what I'm saying. Unless there is a place designated on the property away from the work environment for the child. What kind of child do you want to have in your work environment anyway? Let's say people are on the phone, or people are on a computer, or they're doing other things that, is emitting sound all the time. How can a baby sleep in that kind of environment? How can a child be comfortable in an environment like that? I don't agree with that.
So I have two more comments, Esther. Queen Esther. So Dr. Lebel again is saying children can begin to learn good work ethics and industry knowledge by such early exposure to the world of work.
Yeah,
Hold on.
but is he talking about 2 years and under? We're talking about 2 years and under.
So Dr. Lebel, Esther wants to know if you're talking about 2 years and under. Your last comment. Verlina Busso is saying I'm listening to her too, and it's not to bash her, but
It's okay.
if I was a single mother with a baby desperately needing my job. Okay, so we have a caller. Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon. I think if the employer is not going to allow their employees to bring their children to work, then they should set an example by not doing it also.
That is what I was trying to get across. If
The
go
other
ahead.
thing is, I know where I am, there are businesses that allow their employees to bring their child to work. They have daycares for them. But sometimes when you bring your child to work with you, and the people who are working in the daycare knows that that's your child, and your child is crying, they want to come to your desk and say, "Oh, your daughter's crying or your son's crying." If that child was on an off-site work daycare, they wouldn't be doing that. So I think there need to be some standards and some requirements and strict restrictions as to when the daycare can come to the parent and say, "Your child is crying," but some people just go ahead and do it. So that I know Bossy says, "No, you can't do that." Just because the kid is at the daycare in the same building as you are not allowed to come to my workplace and say to me, "My child is crying." You need to take care of my child the way you would take care of my child if I was in a different building.
Facts.
But
Facts.
I do think that if you are an employer, then you need to set examples by either allowing everybody to bring their child or allowing nobody to bring their child, including you.
Okay.
So, Carla, question: do you have a problem
Mm-hmm.
with a mother bringing their child to work on a regular basis once the productivity is not hasn't decreased and it isn't bothering anybody?
If it's not something that's established by the business, then I don't think that child should be coming to your workplace. For example, I work in a school, and I know I worked in the same school that my children went to at one point, and as old as they were, although it's high school, would come knocking at my door. Mommy, boy, you don't see that I'm teaching? So, I mean, it becomes a habit. If one person does it, then someone else is going to do it, and there's going to be a cycle. Before you know it, your place of employment is a daycare without you even wanting it to be a daycare. If you have to bring your child to work maybe once or twice, then I don't have a problem with that. But I don't think that bringing your child to work on a regular basis, that the productivity will not be hurt in some way.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
All right, thanks.
Yes.
Thanks.
And I do agree with her that if
Yeah, you must agree with that.
if
You must agree with that.
if the boss can bring their child to work, then the employee should be able to bring their child to work. But I'm still going on what I said before, which is the boss, because she's a woman, she should consider having a space that
For her?
for her and I said it
Oh,
before,
okay.
and her employees to be able to bring the child, not on a regular basis, but if we have an emergency, right? I am definitely against the regular basis thing. I'm
Dr.
saying,
Labor is saying-
though, that they should set up a place where they can keep the child there without interrupting or disturbing the flow of work.
Dr. Labor is saying definitely that is how you get geniuses by such early exposure.
Yes, and I have no problem with what he's saying, but I'm saying we're talking about children 2 years and under. So bringing a child in the work environment at an older age, depending on the job, depending on the work, it's good because you're teaching the child something as they're growing, they're learning something really important. Excuse me, but just to have these babies 2 years and under at the workplace all the time, no, man. And I don't see how you could possibly think that a baby or a child 2 years and under can be at a workplace and productivity stays the same. It's
Depends on
impossible.
what job you doing.
No, man. Well, you're sitting at work all day not doing anything. Is that what it is?
What is this?
I'm asking because it sounds like that's what you're saying to me here. That people are not doing anything.
Okay,
so the
give me a
child
job.
can be
Give me a
there.
job. Give me an example. Give me a job.
Give
That
you
the
a
product,
job
yeah, that the
where the
productivity,
productivity would be hampered.
yeah, and I'll give you one that the productivity wouldn't be hampered even if they had a child.
I don't want to use a bank. I was gonna say bank, but
Oh, that's
that
too
would
obvious.
never happen
That
at a
would
bank.
never happen.
TDC. You brought up TDC and Hosford's. Imagine for a moment that even if TDC had a space for, like a nursery space or whatever, for their employee, because they have a lot of female working there, a lot of females.
A lot.
So imagine, you know what they do. There is an entire floor with women at computers all day.
Yeah,
And there is a woman at the front desk on the telephone.
yeah.
Do you see a child in that environment being disruptive in any way?
No, I don't.
You okay? Why not? Because I already said how it can happen. So how is it that you don't see it being a problem?
You mean like somebody bringing a child upstairs there?
Yeah.
First of all,
Because it's a whole floor with women working.
yeah, it's a very open area.
Yes. And that's what I'm talking about.
But I'm talking-
Without having a child care center.
Mm-hmm.
TDC does not have a child care center, But here is this employee who just had a baby, and let's say this
See,
is a
you say
scenario.
you're gone in the open area. You're not talking about the offices, the man. They said,
No, we're not talking about the offices. We're talking about the open area.
Of course, but you in an open area.
Okay, so you're saying.
Where you gonna put your child?
Do you know how many women work in any of the offices upstairs?
Yes, I do.
How many?
Remember, it's me talking to you.
Okay, how many?
You want me to give you the total number of?
No.
You mean in the offices
women
and the size?
in the offices, yes, that's what I said.
The first 2 offices are men.
Okay.
The third office is a woman. In the financial area is 2 women again. The other office on the side, that is a conference room, right? Well, let's go around. The cashier right next to the lady who answers the phone. So the one who answers the phone, the receptionist and the cashier is a woman.
Yes.
In the next office behind that, in the IT, just before you reach IT, you have another 2 women again, right? In the home area is strictly
Forget about
women,
okay.
except one guy.
Let's forget about the open area because you said I am not talking about the offices, and I wanted to know how many women are up there working in offices. That's what I was asking you. And
So let's
you
go.
said
One-
you said it's about 4.
No,
4 or 5 of
1,
them.
2, 3, 4.
But the
5,
cashier,
6.
no, the cashier cannot consider that an office.
Why
It's
not?
it's not an office.
So it is
It's a space where she stands. Or
6.
It's a small area.
6.
6 what?
6 women working. in
No,
offices.
that you cannot call that little booth an office.
I did. That's why I said 6.
Okay. Did you say 7 before?
Yes, I did say 7.
Okay.
So I,
So yeah, I mean you can't consider a booth an office.
it's
And
a
how did you
space.
get 6? You had 2 men up front. You had the 1 woman, then 2 women. That's 3.
They had another 2 women. 3.
So does
The
someone work in the conference room?
No, I'm
Okay.
talking about the booth. They have another office behind the cashier. Where another 2 women work again.
Okay.
That's 6.
If you say that. But I'm just saying, without having a space for women to take their baby and take care of the baby, whether it's breastfeeding the baby or bottle feeding the baby or changing the baby or whatever, if they don't have that facility set up, it's impossible to take a child to work in that environment and it doesn't disrupt the flow of work. It's impossible.
Okay.
Yes.
So I am going to give you a place.
Listen, you were supposed.
What? I'm supposed to
Never
what?
mind. Go
No,
ahead.
tell me. I'm
No,
supposed
no,
to
it's
what?
okay. Go ahead. Well, there was something else I wanted to
Yes.
read.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so this is talking about laws and insurance, and being a factor, right? So before you open your doors to youngsters, consider the laws and regulations that govern your business. You may find that legally you cannot have children at your place of employment, and that your insurance prohibits minors from being on the property during work hours. An employee may note that there aren't any laws against bringing your child to work. So, okay, they give for example, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration identifies 17 hazardous occupations for minors, but specific rules are not outlined. And that is where they run into problems. Yes. The rules are not defined and outlined.
Okay. So a comment here is saying that we are stressing on the woman so much. So let's go and
Okay, let's
switch
talk
it
about
for
the men. Yes.
So is it any different for a male single parent? And let me not say male single parent, but a male
parent.
male parent that doesn't have anybody to
Or a
take
father.
care, or
You
a
can just
father,
say
yeah, father that doesn't have anybody to take care of his child. The same would apply for him too.
I would apply the same thing. The subject matter is the child, not the parent.
No, but you're saying
The
it's gonna affect
subject
the
matter.
productivity of the parent.
Right, but it's all about the child. The child is the one who will be crying. The child is the one who will be putting things down. The child is the one who may get be in a dangerous place that shouldn't be. The child is the one who is the subject matter. All of it.
Lucy, train me under the bus.
Oh my goodness.
let's say I said take a job like Gasano's. A plane is coming and come on. A plane is coming and come on. Come and let the mother know that the baby is crying. What is she supposed to do?
I'm not sure.
You understand? Don't see, I think you need to take that over again,
Yes.
right? But
A plane is coming,
Mhm.
and someone come and let the mother
Oh,
know
okay.
that her baby is crying. What is she supposed to do?
well, the
Well-
fact that somebody came and tell me that my child is crying means that
Yeah.
somebody was with the child. So we'd have to wait until it.
But remember what our friends from Canada said, right? That you shouldn't have people from who's supposed to be watching the children coming telling you that the child is crying. That should never happen.
You should be able to deal with it. That's what you did.
That is what you're being paid to do,
For, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So therefore, no one should be coming telling you anything about your child is crying just because they're close by and they feel that they can come and disturb your work environment. That is not how it works. You're being paid to take care of that crying child.
Okay. So we're gonna have our last conclusion. So you're of the mindset that bringing your children to work on a regular basis, or your child to work on a regular basis, is a no-no, even though it would not.
No. You said that. I didn't say that.
So you
I
believe
have
it
never
will
said
hamper
that.
your productivity
Yes.
somehow?
Yes. And let me go back to what I said originally. If the business or the company do not have facilities to have your child there, to take care of your child, the child should not be there on a regular basis. Bottom line.
Okay.
And whether it's a male or a female parent, you should organize yourself properly. If your job or your work environment is not conducive to you bringing your child to work, do not bring your child to work. Stay home, take a day off or take a sick day, whatever it is that you need to do so that you can handle your business. And when you go back to work, you focus on your work.
Okay.
Yes. That is
And
my
I am of
last
the
take
mindset
on
it is okay
Yes.
once you're still doing your work and it's not disturbing anybody, bring your child. Doesn't bother me.
Okay.
Right?
That's what you
And
say.
with that said, you just want to touch. We were talking about
Yes, we're going
a topic idea.
Yes.
that we had,
and I'd let you say it.
And I had rephrased it in my head. As an employer, is it smart for you to employ a husband and a wife working in the same workspace? Tell me a little thoughts about it. Just give me a little, give me a little thing about it.
Okay, so that's another thing that
So let's take banks out of it, because banks is a total couples working can't happen.
I don't think
Husband and wife can't happen.
siblings can work there at the same bank either.
Yeah, I see siblings
They
working
can?
at banks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see cousins and things working at banks.
That's not sister and sister.
Oh,
or
you mean?
sister and
Oh, yeah.
brother.
Okay, yeah.
I'm
okay,
talking siblings.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't say
siblings.
family.
Yeah, siblings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
That's weird. I
what?
see a twin working in a bank.
not the same bank.
You hear what I say? Oh no, it wasn't the same.
No,
bank.
it is not the same bank. They were working in two different banks, and I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So you're wrong on that one.
Yeah, it's two different
Anyways, yeah, because I think they applied at the sister's bank. One of them applied at the sister's
And they
bank,
said no,
and they,
sister.
hell no, they're not gonna do that.
Oh.
No, they
You
weren't gonna
could
do
plot
that.
a revolt.
Yeah.
So give me a little.
So all right, so husband and wife, but
As an employer, so you're talking for the employer.
okay, so how about people in the movie business? Husband and wives work together all the time.
The acting though.
Yeah, but it's a job.
No, but
It's a job. That is a job. You don't consider it a job?
if you want to have the husband and wife role, of course you're gonna hire them because they already got the chemistry.
Not necessarily.
No, but I mean, come on, Esther. You cannot
Not
be
necessarily.
telling me that in the acting business, because if let's say I run a lawyer firm, and I want to employ a husband and a wife, I'm not gonna employ them because they act good together. You understand? It's acting. If you're
No,
looking
that's
for
not
actors,
that's not a good analogy.
listen, man.
Go-
No, listen, man.
Okay, go ahead.
If you're in the acting field, acting is totally different. If you're in the acting field and you're looking for actors, and you're looking somebody for the husband and wife role, you gonna boss like you look for a husband and a wife?
No.
Oh, what did you?
I just played a role of a wife to somebody that I would never even consider being
No,
my
but
husband.
what I'm saying
and
is,
so your story don't work.
yes, it
let's-
does.
no, it
You don't
doesn't.
want to listen to me.
No, because you do not necessarily. They do not necessarily hire husbands, real life husbands and wives. Some wives are not even in the business. So how can you then say a lot of wives are not in the same business? So how can you say, oh well,
Okay, fine.
because they're
different
husband
roles.
and wife?
They're acting two different roles. What would be the problem in that?
All right, let's go back to your original
Yes,
question.
as an
right?
employer. And please do not lose no movie.
No. I won't go back to
Thank
that
you.
because I realize that you don't understand how it works. But
Yeah, I don't.
all right, so I'm saying now you brought up something about a law firm.
Mm-hmm.
If I had a law firm, I would never hire a husband and wife. And I also, if I was an accounting firm, I would never hire husband and wife.
Why?
Are you serious?
What's
You're
wrong with
talking
it?
about an accounting firm where money is involved.
Mm-hmm.
There's always that temptation
Two.
to do the wrong thing.
Double.
And then you have, if it's a law firm, they may cut corners because they're husband and wife, and they may discuss cases, which I can understand. If they are lawyers, they would discuss cases, but some cases should not be discussed with anyone outside of the defendant and the prosecutor. So, I wouldn't hire a husband and wife in many areas.
So what about, and I just want to branch out some questions to you. What about if, let's use me as an example. We're husband and wife. I'm the head of the house. But when I go to work, you're my boss. How you think that would mesh? Because I know a real life situation like that right here in Navy.
Okay.
I think everybody knows that. But yeah, as a man, I'm the head of the house, whom I should be.
Yeah.
But when I go to work, you're my supreme boss. I have to answer to you. How does that work?
Well, I don't know how it would work
As a husband and wife.
as a husband and wife. Listen, I would say this about that. The man would be extremely comfortable in his skin and have no problems with his wife being his boss because he's not jealous, he's not macho, his ego is not through the roof and all of that. He's centered. He's totally
centered?
Yeah,
His ego will be stroked?
No, man.
Because she would want to bring that same boss mentality into the home. You don't find that?
No, not necessarily.
You don't think women would love that?
I don't think so. I don't think if a husband and wife is really in a situation like that, they both have an understanding, I believe. That is what I believe. I believe they would have a really good understanding of the situation. And
At work,
and so it's
you're
not
the
a
boss,
problem
but
for either.
home, I'm the boss.
Yeah.
I find you would have a lot of problems.
Like what?
Ego. A lot of egos will be stroked. Especially, let's say you're home and you have an argument, you gotta go to work with that, and she's the boss, and you feel like she's picking on you.
Well, we're going to leave that for next week.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. But with that said, any last things you want to say?
Well, I'd like to wish everybody a great week.
Happy Sunday.
I hope that their Sunday was as beautiful as ours here and that they will
It's hot.
have a productive week as well.
So you don't wish me a productive week? You wishing everybody on the video, you know, wishing me your
Cassano,
co-host a productive
have
week?
a productive week.
I don't think you mean that. Look at your
Okay.
face.
Oh my gosh. Seriously?
You mean it?
I wish you a productive
If
week.
you meant it, you would have said it before.
I wish you a very productive week. You are always busy. So
So you gotta tell everybody that?
yeah, but you say worse than that about me on air.
What?
Yes.
I
As
don't treat
if.
you like that.
As if. I'm saying you're always busy. What's wrong with that?
No,
I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's a very good thing.
You
that
have
you're
been very
always
busy the last few weeks.
We don't see each other.
No, which is not
So-
good.
Yeah.
Imagine that. You know, people will actually think that we see each other every day. I only see Esther on Sundays. That's not good.
Well,
That's not good, Esther.
why?
We should see each other on a regular basis.
I don't think I can handle you more than
Of
this.
course. Of course.
I
you
don't
can. I
think-
make your
I
life
don't
so
think-
happy.
Yeah, right. I don't think I want to handle you more than once a week, Cassano.
With that said, Esther doesn't mean it, yeah. With that said, I want to thank everybody for joining us
Yes.
today. We had a real interesting topic. When you
Yes.
first said it to me, I was like, interesting. I mean, but I honestly believe that we should have in-work daycare centers because to me, I find a lot
For
of
certain businesses.
for certain businesses, a big corporation. Because I find like a lot of people making children, and that more businesses are looking into younger people for employment, and most of the times you end up with more women than men, and you find that a lot of young women are getting children. Now we go back to our very first topic, single parenting. You understand? They on their own. Even if you don't do that, you have a plan where you take a certain amount out of their paycheck, and their child will be taken to
towards that.
They will be taken to a daycare. You choose where you want to go.
Would you say that what you just said, the employer takes a certain amount of money from your salary?
The establishment pays for a certain amount, like let's say until the child is 1 year old.
They subsidize
for the first year of the child. 2 years.
That's a plan that could work.
That's a plan that could. The business pays to because in the military they take care of everything.
Yeah, that's the military.
Yeah, right.
Not here.
Yeah, but
here I think it would be a lot different because there's a lot of leniency. I think here in Nevis.
To you?
Yeah, especially
leniency. How?
Leniency, especially in the government structure.
Oh, you mean like we're doing whatever you want?
A lot of leniency. Like if you
because we're a smart society though. That's why.
Let me just say this: if you have an issue or someone calls you at work and tells you you have to pick up your child or something's wrong with your child, you can leave and go and deal with it.
Because sometimes your boss is your cousin, your boss is this,
and you may not even come back to the office.
Yeah,
right?
I mean you don't even call them and tell them they just don't show up.
Yeah,
we do. Yeah, that they could have a lot of
leniency.
But once it's abused, that's the problem.
Yeah,
and then when they hit the ceiling, nobody wants to take the blame.
Nope.
You understand? But with that said, we're gonna be here next week Sunday, God's willing.
We hope.
Yeah, we hope. We're gonna pick back up that topic. I think is a good topic.
The one where husband and wife working same place.
Working. Yeah, well, you come home. I'm the man, but the woman is the boss at work. I think whichever we'll decide whichever one is more interesting.
We can talk about both.
Both, yeah, we could talk about both.
Okay.
And we'll be back at the same time, same place. Take care.
This is 2020 Vision. Join Queen Esther and King Gusano, hosts of Your Voice, Your Story, every Sunday, 3 to 5 p.m. You can find us on Facebook, TuneIn Radio, and Radio Garden. Remember, Sundays, 3 to 5 p.m. on 2020 Vision Radio for Your Voice, Your Story.
COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a new coronavirus introduced to humans for the first time. It is spread from person to person, mainly through the droplets produced when an infected person speaks, coughs, or sneezes. These droplets can land in the mouths or noses of people who are nearby. These droplets are too heavy to travel far in the air. They only travel approximately 1 meter and quickly settle on surfaces. This is the reason person-to-person spread is happening mainly between close contacts. The exact time that the virus can survive on surfaces is not yet known. So it is wise to clean surfaces regularly, particularly in the vicinity of people infected with COVID-19. Hands touch many surfaces, which can be contaminated with the virus. You should therefore avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth